Good morning. It is Wednesday, October 15th. We're halfway through the month, and it's Spay and Neuter Day here at CVAG's Garden of Life Animal Sanctuary. We're loading up Brother Bo to take to Dr. Chapel at the Animal Medical Center of Greensboro on Spring Garden. Wonderful people, worked with Dr. Chapel, worked with many others, and he's a big boy, and that's we're going to talk a little bit about my experience with pediatric spay and neuters. Way back when I was out west, I built the Maxine Palmer Vet Clinic. We spayed and neutered thousands of animals and everything. And, there was nothing there at Save a Pet. It was shut down when I took it over in 94. By 97, 98, I had built, I got it out of the gutter and got it up and running. And first we focused on Cattery Row, Hemingway Steinbeck theme for our indoor-outdoor cattery at the property next door. And then, I was traveling all over the desert with these animals to be spayed and neutered. Had this big, huge, empty building in the back of our little house there at the kennels. And so I said, well, what if we do this, that, and the other thing? So I started in, and Dr. Holmeck donated an anesthesia machine and lights, and we bought the tables and the everything and all the packs, and we got all kinds of good stuff for it. An autoclave and just on and on, a pulse oximeter. Got everything to do it. And then we got our DA license, and we set out. And around that time, Dr. Mackey from the ABC clinics out west was working with Richard Avanzino, who was the for the Maddie's Fund. And they were having Popco 2000 or Popco 97, 98 or whatever. And Dr. Mackey was doing the kind of wonderful, man, kind of, I don't know, working with the pediatric spay and neuters. They was doing something unique because so many animals were being killed. The Hayden bill, Tom Hayden put in there in California, was really good. No animals could leave shelters without being, spayed or neutered or tracked, as long as they were healthy enough to be done. And, but so anyways, it was just, I was driving everywhere. And so I said, well, maybe I'll start this clinic. So I started getting all the stuff together and built the Maxine Palmer Vet Clinic, named after Dr. Howard's mom, my friend. God rest his soul. He just passed away recently. And we started in. And everybody was all worried about the, hormones and doing them too young. We were doing them 2 pounds and up, no matter what the age was. And today, and it was wonderful. They came out of anesthesia greatly. There was never really any problems later on that anybody let us know. And we did thousands of them in that little clinic. We were just cranking them out, and people would come and hold their puppies or kittens, when they came out of anesthesia. One time I had my office full, and everybody was waiting, and we'd bring the puppies out, and they'd help them come out of anesthesia, and it was so much easier on the animals than when you do them as adults. Now, come on, kitty. Yeah, one moment. Say hi, Snowball. He's, oh my God. Anyways, Snowball's got to sit on my lap for everything. So anyways, what we were doing is, it was wonderful. We were working, we were doing it, and it was keeping the costs down for our shelter. And, it would cost about, at that time, $6 to $7 in material, anesthesia and suture and stuff like that, to once the vet clinic was built, to spay and neuter an animal. And it was awesome, and we're saving a ton of money for the animals. So it was not a profit to program, but not a profit to pocket, but a profit to program. So it was financially sound. The animals were really resilient, and they would just, like nothing ever happened to them. Today, what brings me to this is brother Bo that was tied to our gate. He was a large pit bull. He's got noonies about that big, and when you do adult animals, it's way more challenging than snip and clip, smaller puppies or kittens and stuff like that. It was just it's when they come out of anesthesia, there's more monitoring. Not that you don't monitor the puppies, but there's just a lot more to it. And especially when there's issues. We had a Rottweiler we did, uh, and he came out of anesthesia, and his little engine just took off. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, but he started panting and puffing. His temperature was rising, and greatly. And we're there in the desert. And, I mean, this is a big dog, and just he was having some problems coming out of anesthesia. We were hitting him with all the tranquilizers we could, to get him to calm down. That wasn't working. It was very scary. And so I'm driving across down to the liquor store to grab some ice down at the corner there on Dillon and Palm, which was about a mile away, and I'm hauling ass in the little thing. We get back, I put him in the we put him in our grooming tub, and packed him full of ice, and finally got him slowed down and everything. But there's a whole lot of other stuff. That was just one bad example. And then when you have a bleeders and their testicles swell way up or something like that, that really doesn't happen, especially with small puppies where you can go right through the scrotum, just kind of almost like neutering a cat. And a little glue. The big problem is sometimes is the suturing them up, and getting that glue on there, and keeping them done, and keeping them kind of calm. But it's we're off to spay and neuter day. You can help us out. This dog was tied to our fence. Don't do that. www.cvaag.org. And what has happened was people were at shelters were adopting out animals that weren't spayed and neutered, that were young, and they weren't coming back to be fixed. And so it was hard to keep track of them. We did a really good job, and we never really had that problem, just because we were lucky. But until I built the clinic, but that happens a lot. So anyways, with the programs that I put in, and pediatric spay and neuters there in Desert Hot Springs, we were able to take the euthanasia rate from about 98%, and then cut that in half with a couple of other programs I had. And then when June Parker took over, it went down to 9% to 12%. And I have receipts for that. So if there's any vets out there that want to discuss pediatric spay and neuters, you can call me at 336-394-4106, or you can email me at herbmoniz@msn.com. Be happy to come and help. I'm not a vet, but I've done thousands of them, and there's some really good tricks to the trade to do it that makes it easy on the animals and the veterinarians. Once they got on board with it, oh my God, everybody was clipping away. It was just so much nicer. And we didn't have animals out there that we've adopted adding to the pet overpopulation crisis. Anyways, Dr. Mackey is a wonderful guy. I'm really glad I was around when he was initiating that, and that's about it for me. I'm going to load up. Brother Bo is his name, with the big noonies. And I'm sure all the girls will rename him to something else. Every time I name a dog, they all come in, yeah, it's not good. We need to name him this. I don't argue. But anyways, I'm off to Dr. Chappell's for Spay and Neuter Day. www.cvaag.org is where you can send in those donations, so we can make sure, because all our animals are spayed and neutered and microchipped, heartworm tested, or FELV, FIV tested, even though our cattery's not really up and running. They're here with us for life, but we never let an animal go without being spayed, neutered, microchipped, and tested for heartworm or any kind of parasite. Love for all. www.cvaag.org. Bye. Have a blessed day, and we'll let you know later how